Hello, fourth grade. It's Monday, the 20th of April, and we're beginning a new language unit, unit number 9, about pronouns, the noun substitutes. So I'm looking on this page here. Your page should look like that. It's page 153. You're going to do pages 153 to 155, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that. Okay, so let's begin reading in the blue rectangle at the top there, what a pronoun and an antecedent are, what they are. So this is the third part of speech. We've learned about verbs, we've learned about nouns, and now we're going to look at pronouns. So the third part of speech that you will learn about is the pronoun. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. It substitutes for a noun. Big Red is a good book. It is about a dog. It is a pronoun taking the place of the noun Big Red. So instead of in our writing, if we're writing about Big Red the dog, and we're writing a 10-sentence paragraph, we're not going to say Big Red did this, Big Red, Big Red, Big Red, Big Red, Big Red. We're going to start saying it, or if it's a he, we're going to start saying he instead of just saying his name every time, okay? For example, if you're talking about yourself, you wouldn't say, or somebody, let's say somebody's talking about you, and they'd say, my friend is Johnny. And they're not going to say, Johnny is nice, Johnny is great, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. They're going to say he, or they're going to say his, okay? And he and his are pronouns taking the place of Johnny, all right? It's pretty self-explanatory. So, let's read that example again. Big Red is a good book. It, the book, is about a dog. It is a pronoun taking the place of the noun Big Red, instead of saying Big Red over and over and over, like I said before. Next example. Sydney got what she wanted for dinner. You wouldn't say Sydney got what Sydney wanted for dinner. You'd use a pronoun to substitute or take the place of the proper noun Cindy. So Cindy got what she wanted for dinner. She is a pronoun taking the place of the noun Sydney. The boy wished that he could go fishing. You wouldn't say the boy wished that the boy could go fishing. He is a pronoun taking the place of the noun boy. Okay? An antecedent is a noun for which a pronoun stands. So Big Red, Sydney, and boy are the antecedents in those previous examples, okay? There are the nouns that we replaced with the pronouns it, she, and he, okay? They're called antecedents. Read the examples with the antecedents in place of the pronoun. I did that when I said like the boy wished that the boy, or Sydney got what Sydney wanted for dinner, or Big Red is a good book. Big Red is about a dog. Okay? Doesn't it sound better to use a pronoun? Yes. Rather than to repeat the antecedent? Yes. When you are writing, do not use a pronoun unless it has an antecedent. For example, let's say you're doing a writing assignment. You're not going to go, we're writing about your best friend Johnny. We'll use Johnny as an example again. Just made him up. You're writing about your best friend Johnny. You're not going to say, he is a great guy. That's not going to be your introductory sentence to in your introductory paragraph or in your paragraph, because who's he? First, you need to give us the antecedent, whatever noun it is, okay? It could be a he, a she, an it, a they, okay? So those can all be the pronouns, but you have to tell us who he, she, it, and or they are, all right? You use the pronouns later in the paragraph when you've already established who it is or what it is, the person, place, thing, or idea that you're talking about, okay? When you're writing, I'm going to read that again, do not use a pronoun unless it has an antecedent. The antecedent doesn't always have to be in the same sentence. It may be in the preceding sentence, in the next sentence. So Johnny is a great guy. He is, okay? All right, so now let's look at what they want us to do here under think. All of the words in italic, it's a fancy print, are pronouns. Circle the antecedent of each pronoun. So I can't do italics by hand, but I've written the sentences on the board. And so we see the word in number 1 that's in bold and italic is the word his. And number 2, everybody with me, the word he. Number 3, the word him. Number 4, the word it. Are you seeing the words in italics there? Number 5, the word his. Number 6, the word they. Number 7, the word it. Number 8, the word his. Number 9, the word she. Number 10, capital his. Number 11, the word their. And number 12, the word himself. Okay, those are all pronouns. We're going to circle the words that they stand for, the nouns, I should say, that they stand for. It might be a person, it might be a place, it might be a thing, it might be an idea, because that's what nouns are. Okay, so in number 1, if it says the soldier drew his sword in battle, who is his in that sentence? What does his stand for? Well, it stands for soldier, his, soldier. Each soldier drew his sword in battle. Our pronoun in number 2 is the word he. Who is a he? I went to the doctor for advice. Who's the he? Good. Doctor. So you circle doctor. Number 3, my father brought a guest with him. Who's him in this sentence? What is the antecedent? Good. Father. Not guest. The guest didn't bring a guest with him. The father brought a guest with him. Okay? So, once again, antecedent, pronoun his. I'll underline the pronouns. Pretend they're in italics. Number 2, doctor is the antecedent. He is a pronoun that doctor is standing for. Number 3, father is the antecedent. Him is a pronoun the father is standing for. All right? So pretty simple. So you're going to circle in numbers 4 through 12 the antecedents that the pronouns that are in dark print stand for. All right? So don't do that now. I'm confident you understand that. Let's turn the page to page 154. I want to teach you everything that you need to do today, and then you can do it on your own. And if you have any questions, you can call me, all right? So let's look at page 154. It says pronouns as subjects. Sometimes pronouns are used as subjects of sentences. They take the place of the nouns which might have been the subjects. Pronouns which are used as subjects are called subjective pronouns. Look at your list there. These are the pronouns that are subjective. They are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Now, in the previous page, they taught us do not start a paragraph without telling us the noun that you're talking about. Okay, this is different. They're talking about a sentence. Sentence is different than a paragraph. A paragraph is made up of sentences. Okay, so let's say those again together. These are the subjective ones. I, you can write a sentence where I is the subject. You can be the subject. He, she, it, we, and they. So there are 7 of those. So it says, let's look at our examples. You know how we underline a subject once, they underlined it once, and the verb twice. So it says, he and I had pizza for lunch. That sounds good. He is the subject. It is a subjective case personal pronoun. Number 2, we had pizza for lunch. We is the subject. It's a subjective case personal pronoun, is what they're called. They had pizza for lunch. Once again, they is the subject. Had is the verb. And they is a subjective case personal pronoun. Think of nouns which these pronouns could be replacing. He and I, Johnny and I. We, my family, had pizza. They, the Dodgers, had pizza for lunch. All right? My nephew Grant loves the Dodgers. We're bummed that they can't play right now. All right, let's look at Think A. Underline each subject one time. We know how to do that. We've been doing that for quite a while. And number 2, write noun in the blank if the subject is a noun, if they actually name a person, place, thing, or idea, or write pronoun if it is a pronoun. So look at number 1. David Brainerd was a missionary to the American Indians. You're going to learn about him next year. He's a wonderful young man, godly young man. You're going to learn about him in history. David Brainerd. Is David Brainerd a noun, or is it one of the subjective case personal pronouns? I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. It's a noun, right? So you'd write noun in the blank. Okay? I'm going to let you look at my first 2 examples here. I'll hide the other answers, and you can see. So you write noun in the blank. All right? Underline it first, underline your subject, and then write if it's a noun or a pronoun. If it's one of those 7 words in subjective case personal pronouns, it's a pronoun. If it's any other person, place, thing, or idea, you write noun. It's a noun in the blank. Look at number 2. It says, we came to school early on Mondays. What is the subject? Who or what came to school early on Mondays? Good. We. Is we a noun, or is it one of the subjective case personal pronouns listed above? Good. It's a subjective case personal pronoun. So you write pronoun in the blank. Okay? Pretty cinchy, right? Let's look at number 3. Sam won the prize for the biggest fish. Who or what won the prize for the biggest fish? Sam. So underline Sam. Is Sam a noun, or is Sam a pronoun? Is Sam on the subjective case personal pronoun list? No. So Sam is a noun, just like David Brainerd. Number 1. So you would write noun, N-O-U-N, in the blank. Number 4. He enjoys fishing for trout. Who or what enjoys fishing for trout? He. Good. So underline he, and he is what? A personal, subjective case personal pronoun. So you'd write pronoun in the blank. Make sure that in this Think A that you underline the subject, not just write the pronoun and the noun in the blank. Okay? So you can do 5 through 10 on your own. Let's go to Think B. It says, read the following sentences. Notice the pronoun subjects. Can you think of a noun that each pronoun might be replacing? Okay? And what you can do is just put a line through it and put the new, put an antecedent that will replace it, a noun that will replace it, in other words. So it says, John and I went to the park. So you can say, John and Susie went to the park. So you could just put a line through I. Well, for I, you can be the I. So you can write your name. John and Miss Bradshaw went to the park. Okay, that's my name. So you can just put an X through it and write another noun or a noun on top of it. He and Drew are great friends. Think of a name. They flew to Chicago at Christmas. You could say the Johnsons. Number 4, she and Jody went to camp. You can find another she, a female name, to put in there. We and the Gardners, Brody. We and the Gardners often play softball in the evening. I'd like to play softball with the Gardners, so I could say the Bradshaws and the Gardners often play softball in the evening. All right? All right, so just replace the pronoun with a name on top of it. Okay, with a subject. Not a subject, I'm sorry, with a noun. All right, so now let's look at page 155. It says recognizing pronoun forms. Now we're going to learn a different personal pronoun. We're going to learn the objective case personal pronouns. So we talked about the subjective, where the pronoun is a subject of the sentence. I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. Now we're going to look at objective case personal pronouns. So let's talk about that. The pronouns you have already learned can change forms. You would not say, Gus called I on the telephone. Instead, you would say, you would change the I to me. Gus called me on the telephone. Both I and me take the place of the same noun. but the pronouns change because it comes in a different place in the sentence. It's not the subject, it's the object of the sentence. Nouns do not change like this, only pronouns. This chart shows how these pronouns change. These new pronouns are called objective pronouns. An objective pronoun often comes after an action verb. Okay, so look for the action verb in the predicate of a sentence. So here's some examples. Dad, the subject, gave the verb. Right after that, the objective case personal pronoun. Me, a ride to school. You can see that right here. Dad gave, there's your objective case personal pronoun, me, a ride to school. I, past, subject, verb, him, the salt and pepper. Miss Wilson, subject, made, verb, her, objective case personal pronoun. Ryan, subject, wrote, us, subject, verb, there's our personal pronoun, objective case personal pronoun right after the verb. And the dentist told, that's our verb, here comes our objective case personal pronoun, them to brush more often, okay? So the objective, think about object. They are the object of the subject. Gus and I. Dad gave me. I passed him. Miss Wilson made her. Ryan wrote us. The dentist told them. Okay, the object, who the subject is talking to or sharing with or giving to, etc. And those pronouns, let's look at the list there under the blue label there, are me, you. Now we see that you can be subjective and objective. That's okay if it's the if it's the subject of the sentence, it's subjective case. If it's the object of the sentence, it's objective case. Him, her, it, us, them. Let's say that again together. Objective case personal pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, them. All right? Now, did you notice that the pronouns you and it did not change forms, meaning they can be subjective or objective? How do you tell the difference? Are they the subject of the sentence? Is you the subject of the sentence? Is it the subject of the sentence? So it says they can be subjects and they can also follow verbs. All right? So here's it as a subject. You may be excused. I saw you at the ball game. It fell out of the tree. We ate it all up. Okay? So those can be, those are where they are subjects, except for, look at, we ate it, comes right after. It is, in that case, it is the objective case. It comes right after the action. All right, so let's look at Think A. It says, read the following sentences. Notice the pronouns are after the verbs. Can you think of a noun that the pronoun would be replacing? Okay. So look at number 1. It said, Dad hit John and me some grounders. Okay. What can be replaced there? You could say, Dad hit John and I. All right. Look at number 3. Charles helped him and her. It could be them. You can change it to them. Okay. So think of some that you can change. And you don't have to necessarily do anything there. What I did, like here, you can. I just crossed out the me and I put I. And for him and her, I could put them. That sounds better. Some of them are fine the way they are. But those two I changed to make more precise, concise, less wordy. All right? So think B says a pronoun is in parentheses. We know what parentheses are. 2 little symbols like that. For this sentence, okay, let me start that again. A pronoun is in parentheses after each incomplete sentence below. Change the form of the pronoun to make it fit into the sentence. So it says we want proper English. You'll be able to tell because is it the subject or is it the object? So in number 1, it says we thanked. Well, already I know that we is the subject of the sentence and thanked is a verb, so I'm looking for an objective case personal pronoun. Well, not necessarily. Let me back that up. Well, no. Yeah, I would do that. It says we thanked blank for the special treat. So they give us the subjective case personal pronoun here, but is that the proper one? It's coming after the verb. I got confused there for a minute, forgive me. So it's coming after the verb, so it would be an objective case personal pronoun. Which one would fit? If the subjective case is he, then we need a male objective case personal pronoun. We're not going to say her, okay? So it would be him. Good. We thanked him for the special treat. Look at number 2. The pronoun is they. That is subjective case. Brian and I told, it's after the pronoun, it's after the verb told. Brian and I is the subject, and told is the verb, so we need an objective case personal pronoun that would be, that would stand for they. So the only one I see is we could use us or them. I would use, because they're using they, I would use them. So in other words, when they use they, we use them. When they use we, then we use us. Okay, that's proper English. All right, so it should be Brian and I told them about Jesus. Would you take blank to Sunday school? Would you take, would and take verbs? What would come right after the verb? It would be me. Good. The objective case personal pronoun, me. Natalie and I took she a fruit basket. That doesn't sound right. That's the subjective case. It says Natalie and I took, the verb took. So we need an objective case personal pronoun that comes after the verb took, because we know that objective case personal pronouns always take the place, usually I should say, come after verbs. All right, so Natalie and I took her, good, a fruit basket, an objective case personal pronoun. All right, Adam and Michael beat blank in the Bible sword drill, in the contest there, Bible sword contest. Adam and Michael are the subjects, and the verb is beat. And so we're looking for an objective case personal pronoun that means the same as we. And what did I tell you a few minutes ago? We would go with, good, us. All right? So if during that last part in think be, I'm saying subjective case personal pronoun, objective, and if I confuse those, I think you can figure it out. Forgive me. It's a mouthful. I think you should be set for having a basic understanding. Now you can go back and fill in the rest of the sections that we didn't do together. And I'll see you tomorrow as we continue with pronouns.